Well, let's figure out the priority here. After all, it's not so much who you know, but who knows you. As Barry Phillips, a 2-minute Torah, day 3 of Yitro. We go today to Exodus or Shemot chapter 19. And it says, in the third new moon, after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Mitzrayim, on this day they came to the wilderness of Sinai. For they set out from Rephidim and had come to the wilderness of Sinai and camped in the wilderness. So Israel camped there before the mountain. And Moshe went up to Elohim, and Yahweh called to him from the mountain, saying, this is what you are to say to the house of Yaakov, and declare to the children of Israel, you have seen what I did to the Mitzrites, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. We've all heard the name droppers. We've had those conversations where you're relating some important incident or recent trip or happening in your life. And there's always those that, well, been there and done that, and I've done greater. You just don't know. And so you happen to mention that you're friends with or have had an occasion to be in the company of someone with some sense of import about their life. Not only have they done similar, but they've done greater. And it's, well, I know this one, and I have attended that meeting and this conference, and you get the picture. Always someone to one-upmanship you. Israel, at the time of this reading, has been about 30 days from Mitzrayim, and then they have entered into the wilderness, if you will. And when you add the travel days all together, they're about 45 days. 45 days since Pesach, Passover. They've had these initial stages of traveling, and now they have arrived at the mountain. In 5 days' time, Yah is going to come down on the 50th day, and he is going to reveal himself to them in an unimaginable display of power and set apartness and splendor, to the place that they're going to fear for their very lives. So in this 5-day period of time, there's 3 days that they are going to be instructed about setting themselves apart and to be in preparation for this event. So there is 2 days of, shall we say, mountain travel, where Moshe goes up on the mountain and he's hearing these instructions, and he's coming down on the mountain, off the mountain, and talking to the people, and he's going back and forth, and he's carrying on this conversation until Yah actually speaks to them himself. Now, this is all in preparation of elevating the people, so that while they know of Yah, Yah's going to reveal to them just how much he knows them. If we were to turn back a page, at least in these scriptures it does, that's the case. If you turn back to chapter 17, at the waters that were bitter, at Massah and Meribah, the strife of the children of Israel caused them to try Yah and ask this question: is Yahweh in our midst or not? If he's here, why is the water bitter? Why is there an obstacle? Why do we have speed bumps? Why does the curb service just not be more appropriate? They were expecting to be pampered and spoiled? Really? They're in the wilderness. Look around and understand your circumstance. But they asked the question, is Yahweh in our midst or not? It was based on that system of doubt and unbelief that Amalek shows up at Rephidim and attacks him. And there is this war, this battle that goes on, to Israel has to defend itself and overcome Amalek. It says here in verse 2 then that they had set out from Rephidim, this stopping or resting place, and they have survived the asking of this question, is Yah in our midst or not? Does he know us or doesn't he? Yah is going to answer this question. Now, to this point, Israel has learned a certain basic level of Torah. They have heard the rehearsed versions of Torah, and it's been passed down from one generation to the other. These are at least these components of the Torah they know. Number one, Pesach. They have learned just recently about the instructions pertaining to Pesach and how they are to observe it. From ancient times, going all the way back then to Abraham, they understand circumcision. They understand that a child, male child, is to be circumcised on the 8th day to bring him into the covenant. Since the beginning of time, they have understood and learned to reacquaint themselves with Shabbat. And Moshe has refreshed them on Shabbat, instructing them, don't go out of your tents, go looking for food, don't be doing any menial labor here. This is a day of rest, and you are to observe Shabbat. And then there are the instructions about the eating of manna. So they have Pesach, circumcision, Shabbat, and manna instructions. They at least have those issues taught to them. But Yah is going to codify this and bring it into a more protracted and detailed format for them. Yah is his building a relationship with us. He starts at square one. He starts where we are. And we've all heard the numerous testimonies, our own included, of how it was that he found us when we were looking for him. Didn't know perhaps that we were looking for him, but he finds us in whatever situation of desperation or need or crisis and reveals himself to us on a personal level. We may have heard all about him and been trained about him, but there's that moment of meeting him, encountering him, and developing, receiving a personal relationship with him. From there, we went into various roles of teaching, preaching, equipping, understandings, until we began to ask the question, is this all that there is? It was a spiritual curiosity. Is it a seedbed of the Spirit that had been sown by prayers where we said, I'll do whatever you want me to do, go wherever you want me to go. Father, reveal yourself to me. I just want more of you. All of those kinds of prayers were seeds planted in our spiritual ground. And Yah has heard, and he has now answered those prayers. And he's brought us again to the building blocks of relationship with him. What did we learn? We found out about the feasts like Pesach, and it has germinated something in us, a fascination with, wow, he is revealing himself at these parties. And I didn't know that they were in there, and I thought they were just for Israel, but now I understand they're for me. And he's brought us back to the circumcising of our heart and realizing that we're cutting away the flesh and learning to walk in the Spirit. But the Spirit is not against the Torah. The Spirit and the Torah, they work together. So we have circumcised away the religious attitudes of our flesh. We've come home to Shabbat, and we've learned to enjoy this set-apart day, and we look forward to it, and we anticipate it, and we are refreshed in it and renewed in it. And then we have found that Yeshua is the bread of life. It's an amazing process. These simple building blocks of building a relationship. Yah says, I'm going to bring you, or I have brought you to myself. I bore you to this place on eagle's wings. He brought Israel out of Mitzrayim in miraculous fashion, brought them to this mountain where he's going to pull back the curtains and open up a greater revelation of himself. He's also brought us to this place where we are through all those trials, testings, revelations, issues, and stuff. And here he is, and here we are. May he again pull back the curtains and give us a greater and open revelation of him. Look for that today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Then shalom.